Wessel Nyman in the decider. On Wednesday, he lost to Chris Dobie in the money match. And now he goes up against Luke Humphries in the concluding contest. Will he have better luck? If he loses, he's won 30 grand in 3 days and the same number of ranking points. So it's been a very productive week for Stephen Bunting. But Mark, if he's beaten again, he'll go home, I think, disappointed until he sits down with a cool drink and reflects upon what he's done this week, which is quite exceptional.
It's remarkable, isn't it? To get to 3 finals in 3 days is a superb achievement.
60.
Dug it out against Raymond van Barneveld, and Luke Humphries was also taken to a last leg decider by 85. Luke Woodhouse. But it's Humphries who's made the better start here against the Bunting throw. And ultimately, it was the first leg of Bunting's semi-final when he broke Van Barneveld. That was the deciding leg. Is Humphries about to get an early break here?
2 epic semi-finals, as Mark hints at. Will we get an epic final here? Now it's best of 15, first to 8. So there's just a little bit of wriggle room for the players, extra wriggle room. Humphries has left 140. 100. And the break is here for you, Luke. Can't go out. The setup is tidied up by the last start.
That was a crucial last start. Bunting hitting and hoping here. It's the move along the hockey. Can he manufacture a treble? No, 60. He can't. So Humphries will feel quite comfortable here. Single 18 right in the middle. Double top also right in the middle. So an early break for the world champion. Interesting side story, of course. Rod, these two will meet next week.
Yes, indeed, in the World Grand Prix. A different format, of course, Mark, with there'll be best of 3 sets and double in, double out format. So it's a different kind of discipline and contest entirely. But the winner here will feel a lot more comfortable, you would feel, about that Grand Prix assignment.
125.
Yeah, Bunting the Masters winner, but won a ranking title since 2021.
100.
Humphries has been a frequent winner over the last 12 months, but he hasn't won a Players' Championship event this year. He's been runner-up once to Danny Noppert, way back in Players' Championship 8. This is Bunting's 4th final.
140.
Runner-up in all 3 this season.
$95.
I think it's fair to say Luke Humphries has not been at his dazzling best today. Been workmanlike by his standards, but
he's managed to produce some flashes of brilliance when he's needed it.
Yeah,
and here all he can do is leave a finish because Bunting is 2 darts away from a match-leveling break of throw.
Yeah, that max came at an opportune moment. Tops for 1-1. Can the bullet fire back? Yes, he can. 1-1 then. A couple of early breaks here at Robin Park. Here comes Bunting again.
140. $60.
Really has been a remarkable 3 days for Bunting, however you look at it. And of course he'll want the title. That will be what he will want more than anything.
140.
Really good start to the 3rd leg.
58.
Could be the first hold of throw in the match. And it would give Stephen Bunting the lead for the first time. Loses a flight, nothing to worry about there.
85.
Bunting on a finish
100.
after 9. Shot is on. Not quite.
96.
Going to be back for tops.
So from 1-0 down to 2-1 up for Stephen Bunting if he can nail this finish.
And the world champ not overly happy with that visit.
Game shot.
That was plumb centre. 2-1 to the bullet.
Race to 8 legs, so 15 legs, the maximum that can be played, which is exactly the same as the maximum that could be played in the World Grand Prix. It'd be 9 in that round, it'd be 15 in the next round when it's first to 3, but 9 legs.
80.
So this is a longer match, which is strange to say because usually in a big TV major the matches are longer, but not in the first round of the Grand Prix.
140.
He's looking a little bit frustrated, Luke Humphries, at the moment.
There were periods in previous matches when he had a similar look about him, Mark.
57.
Saw his performance earlier against Josh Rock when he averaged just a fraction under 100, beat Rock 6-2.
96.
The competent performance that we come to expect from the world champion.
100.
Advantage Humphries in this fourth leg.
90.
Again, a little bit of a trudge up and a up to the skies as he collects his darts, but he's in good order here. Bunting, though, will be on a finish if he stays straight, which he does.
Double 19 for double. There's the treble. There's the double, which almost inevitably follows. Time was when double 19 was an awkward assignment, not anymore for the top professionals.
Oh, they just choose the target and go at it.
$121.
Must be an element of fatigue for Bunting. He's basically been playing for 3 days solid, hasn't he?
He has indeed. This will be, or is, the 21st match he's played, right?
Yep.
And he's won
95.
19 up to press. 18 out of 20.
They'll be hoping it's 19.
Yes, indeed. It's 18 out of 20 so far. In worst ways, it would be 18 out of 21, which is an exceptional win ratio.
120.
Well, that 20 just dropping out of the board there means he's not on a finish.
99.
Neither is Humphries. Nothing in this final so far.
$96.
88 left for Stephen Bunting, which we'll come back and have a look at.
96.
Something similar for Luke Humphries. Bunting here. Treble 20 would leave double 14. Now 18 leaves the bullseye. So it's the bullseye. Oh, bingo. Bunting on the ball. The bullet on the ball. Goes 3-2 up.
140.
Nice start to the sixth leg for Humphries. Got the makings of going well into the final legs, this one.
137.
Response from Bunting. Nothing asked, nothing given at the moment.
140.
Traded early breaks, but since then, it's been with throw.
Humphries had the early edge with the break in the first leg. It was immediately
57.
negated by Stephen Bunting in the second. And as Mark says, since then it's gone with throw, which gives Bunting the narrowest of advantages. Ooh, now.
64.
And as soon as you see that, and Humphries knew it too, didn't he? Those two darts in the one segment opened the door for his opponent.
It's another treble. Treble 20 it will be to leave the big fish. Can't
97.
get it. But he's not out of the leg yet.
$97.
No, he's not, because Humphries has still got to tidy up that 60, which is no gimme.
Well, there could be some scoreboard pressure applied.
100.
They'll be disappointed only a ton after that opening dart. Humphries then for 3-3. Double 10. Now
40.
then, he thought that was in. Look at the world champion staring down the double 10. Can the bullet hit 110 for a break of throw? Yes, he's going to get a chance. That chance will come at double 16. And that chance has been and gone.
Frustration. Only added to by the double 10 from his opponent.
3-3. And a break opportunity there.
140.
Double 16.
$59.
He's to a slugging it out at the moment. Mid-90s average. That's a great visit.
180.
Third max of the final.
58.
Well, Bunting has got time here from 181.
$41.
Good job after that visit. It's a sign of the standards that Luke Humphries has. He's clearly frustrated, Rod. He's grimacing and groaning at every visit, it seems, yet he's still level in the final.
Yeah, little doubt in my mind that his game is not where he wants it to be at this moment in time.
60.
And he's so good that even with the B or the C game, he can win tournaments. And that could happen here. He could win this tournament. And I'm sure if he does, he'll admit to Dan in the post-match interview that he hasn't been playing at his best today. But if you can win not playing at your best, I mean, that's
100.
the sign of class, isn't it? That's what they always say.
Yeah. Fist bump between the two because Bunting, a bit of equipment came loose there and Humphries said to go get it. 20 for tops then. Tops he needs.
60.
Start again. Now Bunting was a mile clear in this leg. If Humphries can put in a 2 treble here, well, that won't help his
40.
cause.
Double 10 it is then. He's had chances in this leg. He takes this one.
Shot.
So he edges in front again, and the pattern has been set like that for a little while now, Mark, hasn't it?
It has.
With Bunting going one in front and Humphries levelling.
Yeah, just that missed double 16 in the previous leg that would have given Bunting a break.
43.
The way it's going, as we reach the halfway point of this final, it does have a feeling, Rod, that we might be going all the way to a final leg.
As happened in the 2 semi-finals,
100.
when both Bunting and Humphries won by 7 legs to 6 against Arnie and Luke Woodhouse, respectively. Humphries on course to level again here at 4 each. Got roughly a 200-point advantage, or a 200-point deficit if you're Stephen Bunting.
140.
That's got rid of most of it. So is the leg back alive?
97.
Well, it's not a foregone conclusion yet.
$155 left, yeah.
83.
64 then for 4-4. Only going to be 1. That will be at double 8.
48.
Well, this is an opportunity that could determine the outcome of this match.
110 left, so treble 20. just beneath the wire. Had it been above it, he'd have been looking at the ball for the leg. He's looking at it now for the setup. Humphries with 3 in hand, starting at double 8, now moving to double 4. Important this, and he's missed an important miss. 4, I think, missed at the end of this leg by the world champ. Now he's shaking his head, and now he's worried.
He's had a marker.
25.
Oh, how has that not gone in? Fine, fine margins. He would have thought when that left his hand he was going in. Luke Humphries relieved. 4 missed already. Make that 5. Make that 6. But not 7. 7 heaven for Humphries. Went chasing round the board, and it's 4-4.
Wow, extraordinary scenes at the end of the 8th. The leg went to its rightful owner, I think, in the end, because Humphries was in front all the way through it. But having missed 4 at double, he allowed Bunting a chance, which he couldn't take himself with a couple of tops. And eventually, to get it done on double 1 will come as much of a relief as anything else to Luke Humphries.
It will, but Bunting now on the last 2 Humphrey throws has missed darts to win the leg. Double 16 and 2 at tops.
It was a bit like this in the latter stages of the Barney game.
99.
When he had control and he kept holding his throw to keep in front. And then he threw in one bad leg and Barney broke, and suddenly it was back on throw, and Barney actually had the darts in the last leg. Here, Bunting would have the darts in the last leg, but he almost handed the initiative to Raymond van Barneveld. And something similar could happen here. One bad leg on throw from Stephen Bunting would put him bang in trouble. Or one really good leg against the darts from Luke Humphries, similarly.
Yeah. Oh, 4 holds a throw and he's there.
Well, that's the way he'll look at it. But we all know that Humphries is capable of a 12-dart or fewer breaker throw. And if he produces a burst of a leg against the darts, he'll be in front.
140.
And he's half a chance here, by the way, Mark.
He has. It may only be a shot at the ball for Bunting. 14. Just bullseye for 5-4. And this time he doesn't hit the ball. Can
now,
the world
Humphries.
champ.
Oh.
60.
Well, I've no idea what happened there.
He missed the board, trying to get it high, and he missed the board.
He wanted to avoid the treble, obviously, but I mean, to be that far above was just almost inexplicable for a player of his class.
17.
But he is back.
Misses again, Rod. He's starting to miss now frequently. Humphries surely steps in and does. And there is the breaker throw. Well, when the world champion misses a dart at the board, you've got to be taking advantage of that, and Bunting didn't.
Well, one slip by Stephen Bunting on his own throw has now put him in trouble. And now, a 3rd successive final defeat is on the cards
60.
for Stephen Bunting. Humphries really smelling blood now.
Yeah, you called it. One burst from the champ could swing this match around, and that is what is happening here. Bunting, you can almost feel his frustration now.
Because now the roles are reversed and Bunting has to find a break of throw.
He needs a maximum here to get him down to a finish. But he can't. The maximums have dried up.
134.
Bunting, as you said, beaten by Vessel Nyman, beaten by Chris Dobie in the final here over the last 48 hours.
105.
Now he's in danger of going 2 behind the best player on the planet. One of those would leave
133.
17 for tops. Fancy this. And he uses the first dart to go 2 in front. with the finishing line very much in sight.
Bunting.
180.
It's a max. He's got to hold his own throw and then hope he can break.
40.
For his only 40. Well, I think if you'd have said to Stephen Bunting before this final, Rod, that Luke Humphries after 10 legs would be averaging 89, Bunting would have been rubbing his hands together. Well, he is averaging 89, but Humphries leads 6-4.
It's a fair point.
140.
When a player of Luke Humphries' class is playing at that low ebb, you have to smash him out of sight. You don't get those kind of chances every day of the week. That's the fact of the matter. You're quite right. So he 2 behind now, Stephen Bunting. First job here is to stop the rot and hold.
Yeah, he's lost the last 3 legs. He was 4-3 up.
137.
Bunting then, 97. Doesn't have to go here and now, but he'll want to get rid of it here and now. Oh, now then.
37.
37 scored, so 2 dart combination still waiting.
96.
Well, this quite simply has to go. If he fails here, Humphries is 2 darts away from a 3-leg lead. Tops. It's there.
Game shot.
Bunting is still in this match.
140.
But he needs to break. Within the next 2 Humphries games, this will be all over.
140.
40 apiece to kick off the 12th leg. Who's going to blink first?
180.
Well, it's not going to be the champ.
$125.
Almost a sensational riposte.
And almost. Not quite enough.
64.
Bunting with a big one here.
Well, you feel 2 trebles are required. He's
What
got
about
them.
3?
Yes, well, why not? Why not indeed, Mark?
180.
After 2 darter to level it up again. 57 needed. Can't find it, so Stephen Bunting has crafted the opportunity.
57.
Can he take it? Chiseled it out.
Single hit. Big moment. And
Game
Bunting
shot.
delivers. And it's back on throw. And Stephen Bunting has won back-to-back legs. He gets the break he needed. And we're now, in effect, in a best-of-3.
Stephen Bunting has the darts in the first and third of those legs.
140.
So effectively in the 13th and 15th legs, the throw is with Bunting and the 14th with Humphries. So Stephen Bunting now
97.
is in the position he would hope to have been when the match started. 1 up with 2 to play. Any player would be happy if you said to them, hold throw twice, old son, and
96.
you'll win the tournament.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the opponent is the world champion.
100.
Yeah. As we saw in that last leg, that maximum so perfectly timed. And it might be one visit now that decides the outcome of this match.
133.
Great visit. Got to admire, Rod, the character that Stephen Bunting has shown here. 6-4 down. Up against it. But he's fought his way back.
Well, when you're watching the game as an observer, you feel something's going to happen, or you think a pattern is set, or as some people put it, you think somebody has got momentum, but the competitor just carries on trying to win.
60.
And they know they can turn the game around because they've got the power to do it with their right hand. So what we think and what the players think are often two different things, aren't they?
59.
Only 59, so Bunting has got 6 darts at 72. Single to leave double 16 to move within 1.
Game
and
shot.
Bunting reels off 3 successive legs, and now Luke Humphries is throwing to stay in the final.
And I got the feeling that Humphries was resigned to having to win the last 2 legs
139.
halfway through that 13th leg. He just looked like a man who thought, oh, well, I'm going to have to win the last 2 and I can do that. Hold, then break is the Humphries game plan. Just hold one of the two, just hold the last leg will be Stephen Bunting's, or even better, of course, if he can break here and wrap it up and shake hands. But worst ways up, Stephen Bunting knows he's throwing first in the final leg of the match. That's the worst possible scenario. It's a good scenario for the runner-up on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah. Bunting, who led 3-2 and then missed darts in 3 of the next 4 legs, all of a sudden found himself 6-4 down, but he's reeled off 3 on the spin, and this leg's not over yet.
94.
Very good last start.
$81.
Well, 2 visits at 170. We'll need both of them.
87.
That makes it interesting. Bunting can get a 140 minimum. Even a ton wouldn't be the worst outcome here. And he gets the last dart treble, so Humphries, potential 2-darter, but it could end with a shot at the bullseye.
Game shot.
Clinical. Absolutely ruthless. And we are locked at 7-7. A smile, an embrace, a shake of the hand. 1 leg for the title of Players' Championship 26. Will it be 3rd time lucky this week in Wigan for Bunting? Or will Humphries get his hands on a Players' Championship title for the first time in 2024?
60.
Start without a treble for Stephen Bunting. Start with a treble for Luke Humphries. With 3 of them, my word.
180.
Well, his 3rd maximum, but it could not have been better timed.
Well, we said in leg 12 when Bunting hit the max then, it might be 1 good visit that swings the match.
60.
And Bunting is falling short here in the deciding leg.
100.
Well, that's a decent backup to the maximum. It's certainly good enough to put him 160 in front. So Luke Humphries, is he about to win the last 2 legs of the match to salvage the situation, or can Stephen Bunting fight back?
180.
8th maximum of the final.
140.
That's a great visit from Humphries. He will be back for 81 for the title. What has Bunting got left? Can he muster 1 big visit? Not at the moment. Needs a treble. Gets
93.
1. So Humphries for the title. 81.
To win his first Players' Championship of the year, the world champion wants double top.
Game
And that's a
shot
sensational
and the
victory from a
Luke
leg down with
Humphries.
2 to play. Luke Humphries wins the last 2 legs of the match to beat Stephen Bunting. And it's 3 consecutive final defeats this week in Wigan for the Bullet. In the end, Luke Humphries had the class to dig himself out of trouble and win by the narrowest possible margin, 8 legs to 7. And shortly we'll hear from the champion, because Dan Dawson will be hurtling into position to speak to Luke Humphries.
Stephen Bunting reaching the final of every single event, denied every time, this time by the world #1. That couldn't have
And the
been much
impressive
closer.
thing was Stephen's not very well. So
Is he not? I didn't
No, he's
realise
not.
that.
He's really not well. Like, not seriously ill, but he's not been great since the Euro Tour. So to make 3 finals, Yeah, that is some dedication. That fair play to him.
These are long days. These are
Yeah, they're
tiring
hard,
days.
hard,
I mean,
hard.
for him to do that 3 days running
Oh, yeah.
and get close. I mean, did you think that was going away from you at one point?
Oh, do you know what? It might sound a bit arrogant and a bit strange, but today I've been so unlucky on the trebles. Honestly, I've been throwing them so lovely. And you might have seen in the games on the stream, I've been so frustrated because they just sitting on the wire every time, doubles. And I was thinking to myself, oh, you know, it's just not going to be my day today. It's just I'm so unlucky, and I think sometimes things it gets in my head. But even in that final, you know, things were just sitting on the trebles, and I'm thinking, you know, and then that 11 dart leg, I was just I was thinking, please, no. But that's the sort of player Stephen is. He's a really tough player to beat, so yeah.
Well, we could see you getting frustrated throughout a number of games.
That's me.
Yeah, but we could see that throughout. But I tell you what, when you really needed something, you were finding it. The game against Callum Goffin, right? Luke Woodhouse produced an unbelievable comeback against you, and you managed to shut it out. And then obviously an amazing leg to win the final and a last leg decider. I mean, when you've needed something, you've been able to find it. That's got to be satisfying, hasn't it?
It is, and it hasn't been the way the last couple of weeks, to be fair. You know, as you do, you're on Twitter, and you know, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, no chance, he's not going to retain his title." You know, this is what happens in darts. You go through spurts where you're playing fantastic, and then you go through spurts where they ain't going very good. You can't buy a win. Yesterday, I didn't want to be here. I felt like I was, you know, fair play to me, my fiancée Kaylee, because she's like, play tomorrow, and I was like, no, I think it's time for a break. I think I'm knackered. I really am. But she's like, no, go and give it a go. You know, you might give yourself some confidence, and obviously she was right. And, you know, my dad's 60th birthday today, so that was for you, Dad.
There we go. That's a nice one. And
nice one for him. I'm sure he'd raise a pint for himself for that one.
Look, this is your first Players' Championship of the year. I know you've only played about a dozen or so of them, but was it important for you to at least pick up one this year, or does it not? Have you got bigger fish to fry?
Yeah, of course it's important. You know, I feel like I've lost the love on the Pro Tour, and I want to regain it next year. You know, I was just looking at maybe just seeing myself through, and you know, we go again next year and I find the love again. But this year I did lose a bit of love for being in this room, and it does happen. You know, there was no coincidence. You got, you know, Nathan Aspinall, Rob Cross, Gezi. There was about 5. It was only me and Luke that at one point was in the top 16 in the Pro Tour Order of Merit out of the Premier League players. Peter Wright, he was outside. I think that it takes its toll on you. You know, I've played more darts than anybody in the last 12 months since the World Grand Prix last year, and it does tire you out. You know, you could be as young as you want. I feel like I've put on a little bit of weight since the Premier League, and I felt a bit tired throughout the last couple of days. I managed it well today, but I'm going to get back on the exercise bike and lose a bit more weight, because I feel like my energy levels have dropped a little bit, and I think that's what costs me sometimes. I get into the last 16 quarterfinals and, you know, I'm running out of steam.
Obviously, you get to do something for the first time next week. You're going to go and try and defend one of the major titles, one of the many major titles that you've won over the last year. Going there, winning this title has got to be a good thing, but by the sounds of it, you still feel like you've got a couple of building blocks that need to be put in place ready for that title defence, or are you feeling 100% confident?
I don't feel unconfident. You know, I think that playing on the floor on the European Tour stage is completely different. It's a different sport to playing on the, you know, the big stage. I think a lot of players say that when you're on the big stage, it feels different. You know, I feel better than ever on that big stage. So if it wouldn't have gone well today, I wouldn't have gone there on Monday thinking that I couldn't win. You know, I'm dedicated to this sport, so of course I know I can push the levels higher and higher. But you know, it is of course important to gain a bit of confidence from somewhere. It's not been the best 4 weeks, but it's not been the worst. But this will certainly help myself, and you know, I think there's another level in me at this moment in time. I just can't seem to find it. I just don't know. Maybe I need to change my darts, points. I don't know. I just know there's something in me that could raise another level and keep up with the top players.
Or maybe you just need to be back on a big stage at a big TV tournament looking for another major title.
To be continued.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
Well, it'll start next week on Monday in Leicester. You heard Stephen Bunting there as he left the cubicle here. See you Monday, because by a quirk of fate,
how many days I forgot? Sorry,
not very long.
Not very long. A year.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's playing unbelievably. That was a close run thing. He obviously beat you on his way to the Masters title. I know you've beaten him loads of times as well, but it's a heck of a first round game, and in what is an always very difficult tournament to predict, it's going to be fun, that title defence, isn't it?
It is, and you know, I said to Stephen there, he's not, you know, fair play, making 3 finals but not being 100%. That's very impressive. You know, I know what it takes. I mean, right now I'm absolutely exhausted. So to imagine going and do it in another 2 days, it would have took him out of me. I'm gutted for him because obviously a really good friend of mine. They didn't win one of the days, but to make 3 finals, he'll walk away with some confidence. I know I've got a really, really tough game against him because, you know, he's usually really, really, really good on his doubles. But yeah, you know, these are the, like I said to you a couple of months ago, you know, these are the sort of moments I live for now. You know, I've achieved everything I've ever wanted. Now I want to go up and play the best and be involved in these great games and play, you know, Stephen and Luke Littler and Mark van Gerwen, you know, all these players on the big stage. I just want to have these great epic games, give the fans what they want, enjoyment, and you know, hopefully it's a great Grand Prix, but I'd love to retain it. But you know, there's some dirty draws in there. It's going to be a really, really tough one.
There are some dirty draws, and he's got one of them. It will be Luke Humphries versus Stephen Bunting, the repeat on Monday in Leicester. Luke Humphries' first Players' Championship title of the year after a sensational 3 days in Wigan. Saw yet another 9-darter. Lee Evans, I think that takes us to a record number. But we will be back with more Pro Tour action. 4 more of these to come. We've got a Euro Tour in Prague as well. Doing that one? Not decided? Not decided.
Yeah,
I'm not going to put him on the spot.
I'll do it.
There we go. He said now, and now you have to.
I will do it.
But we will be back with more Pro Tour action in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. But enjoy the World Grand Prix. This man will be hoping to do so.